Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to a story not about a crowd, not about a team, but about one woman who fights alone. She doesn't wait for help. She doesn't blame circumstances. Instead, she becomes the hero of her own life. Today, I want to share 5 key lessons inspired by her journey. Taking full responsibility for your life is a cornerstone of personal success and transformation. It means acknowledging that the outcomes you experience, whether good or bad, are shaped largely by your own actions, decisions, and mindset. This principle, while simple to understand, can be profoundly difficult to implement. Yet, it holds the power to unlock your potential and set you on a path toward achieving your goals, no matter where you start. To take full responsibility is to accept that your life is in your hands. It is a declaration of ownership, a commitment to no longer play the blame game or rely on external circumstances to dictate your fate. Many people spend years blaming their lack of progress on factors beyond their control: the economy, their upbringing, bad luck, or the behavior of others. But here's the hard truth: as long as you focus on what you can't control, you give away your power. The woman who fights alone knows this, and she refuses to give that power away. Accepting responsibility requires a shift in mindset. It means moving from being a victim to becoming a victor. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that life is happening to you, that you're at the mercy of circumstances. But when you adopt the perspective that life is happening for you, everything changes. Challenges are no longer seen as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. Every setback becomes a chance to learn something valuable. And every failure is a stepping stone toward success. Taking responsibility is not about self-blame or beating yourself up for mistakes. It's about owning those mistakes, learning from them, and committing to doing better. Everyone falls short at times. It's part of being human. The key is how you respond. Do you dwell on the failure, make excuses, or point fingers? Or do you look inward and ask, what could I have done differently? What can I learn from this, and how will I use that lesson to move forward? The woman who fights alone doesn't dwell in self-pity or regret. She faces her flaws head-on and uses them as a catalyst for growth. One of the most powerful aspects of taking responsibility is realizing that your decisions shape your destiny. Every choice you make, whether big or small, adds up over time to create the life you live. This includes how you spend your time, the habits you cultivate, the people you associate with, and the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind. By taking responsibility, you become intentional about these choices. You begin to see that success is not a matter of luck or chance, but the result of consistent, disciplined actions taken day after day. Responsibility also extends to how you react to life's challenges. While you can't control everything that happens to you, you can always control how you respond. This truth is liberating because it places the power back in your hands. For example, if someone treats you unfairly, you can choose whether to retaliate, let it consume you, or rise above it. If you encounter a setback in your career, you can choose to see it as a failure or as an opportunity to pivot and find a better path. The woman who fights alone understands this dynamic. She knows that her response to adversity is what defines her, not the adversity itself. Taking responsibility often requires courage, especially when it comes to confronting uncomfortable truths about yourself. It means admitting when you've made poor choices or failed to live up to your potential. But in doing so, you free yourself from the chains of denial and self-deception. You gain clarity and the ability to chart a new course. It's like cleaning out a cluttered room, difficult at first, but incredibly freeing once it's done. The woman who fights alone doesn't shy away from this process. She embraces it because she knows it's the only way to truly grow. Another important aspect of taking responsibility is understanding that no one else is responsible for your happiness. It's easy to fall into the trap of expecting others, your partner, family, friends, or even society, to fulfill your needs or make you feel complete. But happiness is an inside job. When you take responsibility for your own happiness, you stop waiting for external validation or perfect circumstances to feel content. Instead, you focus on cultivating inner peace, gratitude, and a sense of purpose. The woman who fights alone doesn't rely on others to make her happy. She builds her own foundation of joy and fulfillment. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you have to do everything alone or avoid seeking help. It's not about carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. It's about recognizing that even when you enlist support or collaborate with others, the ultimate responsibility for your life still lies with you. The woman who fights alone knows when to ask for help, but she does so from a place of strength, not dependency. She understands that seeking guidance or resources is a proactive choice, not a sign of weakness. Perhaps the most rewarding part of taking responsibility is the sense of empowerment it brings. When you take full ownership of your life, you realize that you are not a passive observer, but an active participant in creating your reality. This realization is both humbling and exhilarating. It means that while you may not always succeed, you always have the power to try, to improve, and to keep moving forward. It means that no matter how tough the journey gets, you are in control of how you navigate it. In the end, taking responsibility for your life is not just a one-time decision, it's a daily practice. It's about showing up for yourself, even when it's hard. It's about holding yourself accountable for the promises you make to yourself and others. And it's about embracing the truth that your life is a reflection of the choices you make. The woman who fights alone understands this deeply. She knows that by taking full responsibility, she becomes unstoppable, not because life gets easier, but because she gets stronger. Turning challenges into fuel for growth is one of the most powerful mindsets a person can develop on their journey to success. Challenges are an inevitable part of life, yet how we respond to them determines whether we remain stuck in frustration or emerge stronger, wiser, and more capable. The key is not avoiding challenges, but learning to use them as stepping stones for personal and professional growth. When we can shift our mindset from seeing challenges as obstacles to viewing them as opportunities, we unlock the power to transform our lives. The woman who fights alone knows that life will never be without its struggles. Whether it's facing a setback in her career, dealing with personal loss, or overcoming health issues, she understands that these challenges are not there to stop her, they're there to make her better. This realization is the first step in using challenges as fuel for growth. When you understand that challenges are part of the process, you stop dreading them and begin to welcome them as opportunities for transformation. One of the most powerful ways to turn challenges into growth is through perspective. The way you perceive a challenge can drastically influence your response to it. If you see a challenge as an insurmountable obstacle, it can quickly overwhelm you. But if you choose to see it as an opportunity to learn something new, you create space for growth. The woman who fights alone doesn't let difficulties paralyze her. Instead, she shifts her focus toward the lessons she can learn. She asks herself, what can I gain from this experience? How can this make me better? This shift in perspective allows her to move forward with a sense of purpose and determination. It's essential to recognize that challenges often come with discomfort, and growth rarely happens in the absence of discomfort. Growth stretches you beyond your comfort zone. The woman who fights alone knows that every challenge she faces is an opportunity to stretch her limits and expand her capacity. When faced with difficulty, she doesn't shrink back, she leans in, fully aware that it's through facing discomfort that she will find the strength to rise. Whether it's learning a new skill, tackling a difficult project, or navigating a tough conversation, each challenge provides the opportunity to expand her abilities and grow as a person. In fact, some of the greatest growth occurs when we're faced with the most difficult challenges. Think about the process of building muscle in the gym. When you push your body beyond its limits, it breaks down and rebuilds stronger than before. The same principle applies to personal growth. When you're faced with a difficult situation, your emotional and mental resilience is put to the test. It may feel uncomfortable, even painful. But when you persevere, you emerge stronger, just like a muscle that has been built through resistance. Another critical aspect of turning challenges into fuel for growth is embracing the power of perseverance. The woman who fights alone understands that success is rarely immediate. It requires resilience, grit, and the willingness to keep going when things get tough. She knows that challenges can be long-lasting, But the key is to keep moving forward, even if the progress feels slow. She embraces the idea that every small step forward counts and that persistence will eventually pay off. When things get hard, she doesn't quit. She uses the challenge as fuel to keep pushing, knowing that the road to success is paved with persistence and hard work. There's also a deep sense of personal empowerment that comes with turning challenges into growth. When you choose to confront challenges head-on and learn from them, you realize that you have more control over your life than you might have initially thought. It's easy to feel helpless when faced with a challenge, especially when it seems overwhelming. But by taking an active role in your response, you take back your power. The woman who fights alone embodies this. She takes control of the narrative and refuses to let life's difficulties define her. Instead, she defines her response and uses the situation to her advantage, making the challenge work for her instead of against her. An essential tool in transforming challenges into fuel for growth is reflection. It's important to take the time to reflect on the challenges you face and consider how they contribute to your personal development. This process of reflection helps you process the experience, gain insight, and identify patterns that can help you in the future. The woman who fights alone doesn't simply move on after a challenge is over. She takes the time to reflect, ask what went well, what could have been done differently, and what lessons were learned. This ongoing reflection deepens her understanding of herself and her journey, and it ensures that she's continuously evolving and improving. Let's also consider the role of failure in turning challenges into fuel for growth. Failure is often seen as something to avoid or fear, but it can be one of the most powerful catalysts for growth. The woman who fights alone knows that failure is not the end, but rather a part of the process. When she fails, she doesn't see it as a personal defeat. She sees it as an opportunity to analyze, learn, and adjust. The best lessons often come from our failures because they push us to rethink our strategies, reframe our mindset, and approach future challenges with greater wisdom and insight. Failure then becomes not a barrier, but a stepping stone, a necessary part of the journey towards success. Furthermore, challenges often force us to develop qualities like patience, humility, and emotional intelligence. The woman who fights alone understands that these qualities are not born in moments of ease, but are forged in the fire of adversity. When faced with a challenge, she doesn't resort to frustration or anger. Instead, she learns to navigate her emotions, stay patient, and keep a level head. These emotional skills are crucial in life, and each challenge is an opportunity to strengthen them. Finally, turning challenges into fuel for growth means understanding that the more you face and overcome, the stronger and more capable you become. Every challenge you navigate adds to your personal resilience and builds your confidence. You prove to yourself time and time again that you have what it takes to overcome difficulties, no matter how great they may seem. The woman who fights alone doesn't see her challenges as reasons to give up. She sees them as proof of her strength and determination. With every hurdle she clears, she becomes more convinced of her ability to succeed. In the end, the challenges you face are not obstacles, but opportunities for growth, learning, and transformation. When you embrace this mindset, you stop fearing difficulties and begin to see them as necessary ingredients for your success. The woman who fights alone knows this, and she uses every challenge as fuel to propel her forward, knowing that her greatest strength is forged in the face of adversity. Mastering the art of discipline is one of the most powerful habits a person can develop on the path to success. Discipline is often the dividing line between those who achieve their goals and those who fall short. While talent, intelligence, and luck can help you get ahead, it's discipline that will ultimately carry you across the finish line. Discipline is about doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's about staying committed to your long-term goals, regardless of the immediate distractions, difficulties, or temptations that may arise along the way. The woman who fights alone understands the power of discipline. She knows that success doesn't happen overnight, nor does it come from moments of intense inspiration or bursts of motivation. It's the small, consistent actions taken over time that lead to extraordinary results. Discipline is not a trait that people are born with. It's a muscle that must be developed through continuous practice and commitment. Like any skill, the more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. To truly master discipline, it's essential to start by understanding its importance. Discipline is the ability to take action regardless of how you feel. It's easy to be motivated when everything is going well, when the conditions are perfect, and when your energy is high. But true discipline is about showing up even when you're tired, stressed, or distracted. The woman who fights alone doesn't rely on motivation to get her through tough times. Instead, she depends on her discipline. She understands that motivation is fleeting, but discipline is something she can rely on day after day. Discipline also requires setting clear, defined goals. You cannot be disciplined without a clear sense of direction. Without a goal in mind, it's easy to get lost in distractions or become overwhelmed by the sheer number of tasks in front of you. The woman who fights alone is laser-focused on her objectives. She understands that without a clear vision of where she's headed, it's impossible to stay on course. Whether it's personal or professional goals, she knows that clarity is the foundation of discipline. It helps her prioritize her efforts, stay on track, and avoid the noise that can pull her in a million different directions. Once the goals are set, the next step in mastering discipline is breaking them down into manageable tasks. Big goals can often feel overwhelming, and it's easy to procrastinate when the task ahead seems insurmountable. The woman who fights alone doesn't let this happen. She breaks her larger goals into smaller, more achievable steps, focusing on what she can do today to move closer to her bigger vision. Each task, no matter how small, is an important piece of the puzzle. By focusing on one thing at a time, she avoids feeling overwhelmed and builds momentum, which strengthens her discipline over time. She knows that consistent, incremental progress is what leads to major breakthroughs. Time management plays a significant role in mastering discipline. Time is our most valuable resource, and how we choose to spend it determines whether we succeed or fail. The woman who fights alone doesn't squander her time on distractions or unnecessary activities. She plans her day with purpose, allocating time for the tasks that will bring her closer to her goals. She makes use of tools like calendars, to-do lists, and time-blocking strategies to structure her day and stay focused. She understands that discipline isn't just about doing things, it's about doing the right things at the right time. She's not afraid to say no to the things that don't serve her purpose, knowing that every minute spent on unimportant activities is a minute lost from her path to success. Another critical element of discipline is self-control. Self-control is the ability to resist short-term temptations in favor of long-term rewards. It's the ability to say no to things that bring instant gratification, knowing that delayed gratification is the key to achieving meaningful success. The woman who fights alone practices self-control in every aspect of her life. Whether it's resisting the urge to procrastinate, staying focused on her work instead of scrolling through social media, or avoiding unhealthy habits, she understands that self-control is the bridge between where she is now and where she wants to be. She's learned to recognize the power of her decisions and how each one contributes to her overall success. Part of mastering discipline is also developing the ability to stay consistent, even when things aren't going perfectly. There will be days when motivation is low, when obstacles seem too great, or when setbacks arise. The woman who fights alone doesn't let these days derail her. She recognizes that consistency is key to building momentum. She understands that success isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Even if she takes small steps on days when she feels less inspired, those small steps compound over time, leading to big results. She doesn't wait for the perfect moment or for all conditions to align, she simply keeps going. Mastering discipline also involves learning to embrace discomfort. Growth rarely occurs when we're in our comfort zone. Discipline requires us to push through discomfort and challenge ourselves to do things we don't want to do. The woman who fights alone is no stranger to discomfort. Whether it's waking up early, working late, or tackling a difficult task, she doesn't shy away from the hard work. She knows that discomfort is a sign of growth, and she's willing to endure it for the sake of her goals. She understands that short-term discomfort leads to long-term satisfaction, and that by consistently choosing discipline over ease, she is building the life she desires. Equally important is the role of accountability in mastering discipline. The woman who fights alone knows that. Even though she may be alone in many aspects of her journey, she still needs to hold herself accountable. She sets standards for herself and holds herself to them. She doesn't wait for others to remind her of her responsibility. She takes ownership of her actions and results. Accountability to herself is what keeps her disciplined and focused. She understands that no one else can achieve her goals for her. It's her responsibility, and she owns it completely. Finally, mastering discipline requires self-compassion. No one is perfect, and there will be times when you slip up or fall off track. The woman who fights alone knows this. She doesn't berate herself for mistakes or failures. Instead, she practices self-compassion. She recognizes that setbacks are part of the process and that beating herself up only wastes time and energy. Instead of being harsh on herself, she uses her mistakes as learning opportunities. She reflects on what went wrong, adjusts her approach, and keeps moving forward. In the end, mastering the art of discipline is the key to unlocking success. It's the ability to consistently show up for yourself, to make the right choices day in and day out, even when it's hard or inconvenient. The woman who fights alone understands that discipline is not a one-time effort, but a lifelong practice. She is committed to doing what needs to be done, no matter how challenging or uncomfortable, because she knows that discipline is the foundation of all achievement. Through her discipline, she shapes her future and builds the life she desires. Surrounding yourself with the right environment is one of the most important choices you can make on the path to success and personal growth. While we often focus on our own abilities, actions, and efforts, the truth is that the people, places, and situations we expose ourselves to play a profound role in shaping who we are and the outcomes we experience. The right environment can either propel us forward or hold us back. For the woman who fights alone, creating and maintaining an empowering environment is not a luxury, it's a necessity. The first step in surrounding yourself with the right environment is recognizing that we are deeply influenced by the people we spend time with. As Jim Rohn famously said, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. The people you interact with regularly have a direct impact on your mindset, your habits, and even your beliefs about what's possible for you. If you spend time with people who are negative, complacent, or unsupportive, you will likely adopt similar attitudes and behaviors. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with individuals who are ambitious, positive, and driven, they will inspire and encourage you to push beyond your limits. The woman who fights alone understands this dynamic deeply. She knows that she can't afford to spend her time with people who bring her down or drain her energy. Instead, she surrounds herself with those who challenge her, encourage her, and elevate her to new heights. This doesn't necessarily mean cutting people out of your life, but it does mean being intentional about where you invest your time and energy. She actively seeks out mentors, peers, and friends who share similar goals, values, and aspirations. She understands that an empowering environment doesn't just happen by chance, it's something that requires effort and intentionality. However, it's not just the people you spend time with that shape your environment, it's also the places you frequent and the spaces you occupy. The physical environment you create for yourself has a direct impact on your productivity, creativity, and overall well-being. The woman who fights alone understands the power of her environment in this regard. She takes care to create a workspace that fosters focus, creativity, and clarity. Whether it's a tidy office, a quiet corner for reading, or a peaceful outdoor setting, she knows that the right physical space can help her stay motivated and aligned with her goals. The woman who fights alone also understands the importance of eliminating distractions from her environment. In today's fast-paced, digitally connected world, it's easy to become overwhelmed by constant notifications, endless emails, and social media distractions. She recognizes that these interruptions can derail her productivity and focus, so she consciously chooses to create an environment that minimizes distractions. This might mean turning off her phone, using productivity apps to stay focused or setting boundaries around when and how she engages with social media. She also recognizes that clutter, both physical and mental, can hinder her ability to think clearly and make progress. By keeping her environment organized and purposeful, she creates space for clarity, inspiration, and productivity. Another important aspect of creating the right environment is surrounding yourself with positive energy and affirmations. The woman who fights alone is deliberate about filling her space with messages that inspire and uplift her. She might hang motivational quotes on her walls, listen to podcasts or audiobooks that align with her goals, or engage in daily affirmations that reinforce her belief in herself and her abilities. She knows that the thoughts and words she exposes herself to shape her mindset, and she makes a conscious effort to fill her environment with positivity, encouragement, and growth-oriented messages. It's also important to create an environment that supports your health and well-being. Physical health is deeply interconnected with mental and emotional health. And the woman who fights alone recognizes that she cannot achieve her goals if she neglects her body. She surrounds herself with an environment that encourages healthy habits, such as a clean and organized kitchen stocked with nourishing foods, a fitness space that motivates her to move, and a routine that prioritizes sleep and recovery. By caring for her body and creating an environment that supports her health, she ensures that she has the energy and vitality to tackle the challenges that come her way. But the right environment isn't just about the people, places, and spaces, it's also about the mindset you cultivate. The woman who fights alone understands that her inner environment is just as important as her external surroundings. She knows that the thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes she holds internally influence her actions and outcomes. Therefore, she is intentional about cultivating a positive, resilient, and growth-oriented mindset. She practices gratitude, focuses on solutions instead of problems, and reframes challenges as opportunities for growth. She actively works to eliminate limiting beliefs that may hold her back, replacing them with empowering thoughts that propel her forward. The right environment also involves surrounding yourself with the right information. The woman who fights alone knows that knowledge is power, and she is intentional about the information she consumes. She fills her mind with books, podcasts, courses, and resources that align with her goals and values. She seeks out wisdom and guidance from those who have walked the path before her, learning from their experiences and applying their insights to her own journey. She understands that in an age of information overload, it's easy to get lost in the noise. But by curating the content she consumes, she ensures that her environment is filled with valuable, actionable information that helps her grow. Furthermore, the woman who fights alone is aware that her environment must also foster resilience and perseverance. Life is full of unexpected challenges, and the road to success is rarely a straight line. She knows that setbacks, failures, and difficult times will inevitably come her way. However, she surrounds herself with an environment that helps her bounce back from adversity, whether it's through a supportive community, a network of mentors, or personal coping strategies. She creates an environment that encourages her to stay resilient and keep going, no matter what. She understands that it's not about avoiding challenges, but developing the mental and emotional tools to handle them when they arise. The final component of surrounding yourself with the right environment is choosing to spend time in places that nurture your soul and help you recharge. The woman who fights alone understands that balance is key to long-term success. She doesn't burn out by constantly pushing herself without rest. Instead, she creates space for relaxation, joy, and rejuvenation. Whether it's spending time in nature, engaging in creative hobbies, or simply taking time for self-care, she ensures that her environment includes moments of peace and fulfillment. This helps her stay aligned with her deeper purpose and reminds her of why she's on this journey in the first place. In conclusion, surrounding yourself with the right environment is not a passive choice, it's an active, deliberate decision to create a space where you can thrive. The woman who fights alone knows that the people, places, information, and mindset she immerses herself in all play a critical role in her success. She intentionally curates her environment to support her growth, protect her energy, and keep her focused on her goals. By doing so, she positions herself to achieve the success she desires and to become the best version of herself. Having a vision that pulls you forward is one of the most powerful forces in shaping your life and achieving meaningful success. A clear and compelling vision serves as a guiding light, leading you through challenges, helping you make decisions, and keeping you focused on your long-term goals, even when short-term obstacles arise. Without a vision, it's easy to drift aimlessly, reacting to life's circumstances rather than taking proactive steps toward your desired future. For the woman who fights alone, having a vision that pulls her forward is not just important, it's essential. It is the foundation that keeps her grounded, inspired, and motivated no matter what life throws at her. A strong vision is more than just a goal or a wish for the future. It's a vivid mental picture of the life you want to create. It's about imagining your ideal self, your desired circumstances, and the impact you want to have on the world. This vision is what drives you when things get tough, when setbacks occur, and when you feel like giving up. The woman who fights alone knows that her vision is the fuel that keeps her moving forward. It gives her the clarity to know what to prioritize and the resilience to keep going when the path seems unclear. The key to having a vision that pulls you forward is to make it specific, vivid, and emotionally compelling. The more detailed your vision, the more powerful it becomes. A vague vision will not provide you with the guidance you need to stay on track. Instead of simply wishing for success or better life, the woman who fights alone paints a detailed picture of what that success looks like. She imagines what it feels like to achieve her goals, what her surroundings will look like, and how her life will be different. This vivid imagery connects her to her goals on a deeper emotional level, making them feel more attainable and urgent. But having a vision is not just about the destination, it's about the journey as well. A compelling vision pulls you forward by focusing not only on the end result, but also on the person you become in the process. For the woman who fights alone, success is not just about the achievement she accumulates, but also about the growth she experiences along the way. Her vision encompasses not just what she wants to accomplish, but who she wants to become. The journey to her vision is just as important as the destination itself, and she remains focused on continuous personal development. Her vision is about becoming stronger, wiser, more capable, and more fulfilled with each step she takes. One of the most important aspects of having a vision that pulls you forward is that it provides a sense of purpose. When you have a clear vision, you wake up every day with intention and motivation. It helps you overcome procrastination and self-doubt because you have a sense of direction. The woman who fights alone wakes up with a sense of purpose because she knows that every action she takes is a step closer to realizing her vision. This sense of purpose is a powerful antidote to the distractions and temptations that might pull you off course. A vision gives you the ability to make decisions more easily because you always have a benchmark against which to measure your choices. A vision also provides you with the strength to navigate setbacks and challenges. The road to success is rarely smooth, and there will inevitably be times when you face adversity. Whether it's a personal crisis, professional setback, or a moment of failure, a compelling vision can help you bounce back. The woman who fights alone understands that challenges are a natural part of the journey. However, because she has a clear vision of the life she wants to create, she is able to view setbacks as temporary and necessary parts of her growth. Her vision pulls her through the tough times, reminding her that every obstacle is an opportunity to learn, grow, and refine her path. She keeps her eyes on the bigger picture, refusing to be derailed by short-term difficulties. Another critical aspect of having a vision that pulls you forward is that it helps you maintain focus. In today's world of constant distractions and competing priorities, it's easy to get lost in the noise. Without a clear vision, it's easy to follow the latest trend or react to every new opportunity. But these distractions can divert you from your true purpose. The woman who fights alone knows that focus is the key to success. Her vision helps her stay grounded in what truly matters. She learns to say no to distractions and to prioritize the actions that will bring her closer to her vision. By staying focused, she makes steady progress, and each day moves her closer to her ultimate goal. To ensure that your vision pulls you forward, it's important to revisit and revise it regularly. As you grow and evolve, your vision may shift, and it's essential to stay flexible and open to adjusting it as needed. The woman who fights alone doesn't see her vision as something fixed, rather, she treats it as a living, evolving roadmap. She regularly evaluates whether her vision still aligns with her current goals, values, and aspirations. As she encounters new experiences, her vision becomes richer, more nuanced, and even more ambitious. She understands that revising her vision is not a sign of failure, but an indication of growth and progress. The woman who fights alone also knows that a vision is not something that happens in isolation. It's important to share your vision with others who can support you and hold you accountable. While it's true that the pursuit of your vision is ultimately a personal journey, having a support system can provide you with the motivation and encouragement you need to keep going. Whether it's a mentor, a coach, or a community of like-minded individuals, sharing your vision with others helps to reinforce your commitment. These people can provide valuable feedback, offer guidance, and remind you of your potential when you start to doubt yourself. The woman who fights alone doesn't shy away from seeking support. Instead, she actively builds relationships with people who can help her achieve her vision. As you move forward with your vision, it's also essential to take action. Vision alone will not create results. It's the consistent, purposeful actions you take that will bring your vision to life. The woman who fights alone understands that having a vision is only part of the equation. She knows that it's the daily choices, the small steps, and the commitment to action that will transform her dreams into reality. Her vision pulls her forward, but it's the work she does every day that makes her vision come alive. Finally, it's important to remember that your vision should inspire you to make a difference in the world. A compelling vision is not just about personal success, it's about contributing to something larger than yourself. The woman who fights alone envisions a life that not only benefits her, but also serves others. Whether it's through her work, her relationships, or her actions, her vision pulls her forward because it's connected to a higher purpose. This sense of purpose gives her vision meaning and depth, motivating her to keep pushing, no matter the challenges she faces. In conclusion, having a vision that pulls you forward is essential for achieving lasting success and fulfillment. It provides you with clarity, direction, and purpose, keeping you focused even when challenges arise. The woman who fights alone understands the power of having a vision that inspires her to grow, take action, and stay committed to her long-term goals. With a clear and compelling vision, she remains grounded in her purpose, motivated by her potential, and unstoppable in her pursuit of the life she desires.